Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be drafting a straight female pants. So it's going to be very interesting because some people actually find it difficult making pants. So this drafting of this pattern is very simple. So when you can do this, you just keep this master pattern because we're going to be using this pattern to make different kinds of pattern. So the measurement that we'll be needing to draft this pattern is the waist measurement, the hip measurement, your ankle, of course, crotch measurements. So now the way that first of all with our hip measurements, there are the waist measurement. When you want to draft your waist measurement, you just take the smaller part of your waist. That is your true waist measurement. But however, when you want to make a low waist pant, then you can draft from where you want to have your pants. So in this case, I'm going to use my smallest part of my waist to make this pattern. And of course, the client's waist is 40 inches divided by 4, and I have 10. And that 10, I add 1 inch for ease. Then I have 11 inches. Of course, I wanted to put darts, so I add extra 1 inch for the darts. That gave me 12 inches. Okay, so one thing you have to know for this pattern is that this pattern I'm not going to use a waistband. That is why I'm actually measuring my true waist. Although I will use facing to turn it in, and at the same time I will have zipper at the side. So that is how I'm going to do that. And then of course your hip, when you want to measure your hip, you measure the widest part of your hip, and that is what you need to measure. When I measure, what I'm going to use is 46 inches. So that 46 inches divided by 4, then I have 11.5 inches plus half an inch, then totally I have 12 inches. But I add maybe 1 inch to make it a little bit more comfortable. Then I have a total of 13 inches. So the next we're going to do is ankle. Ankle is the length of your the end of your pants. That is your ankle. So when you measure the length of your pants to down, then you just measure your leg. You see how what is the inches of your ankle. So the ankle I'm working with today is 12 inches divided by 2, then I have 6 inches. The crotch measurement is when you want to actually measure your crotch, you can sit on the hard surface like a hard chair. That is very nice. When you sit there, then you measure your waist to that hard surface. Actually, you can measure where you want your pants to be from the top there. You measure it down to the hard surface, and there, that is how you know your crotch. That is the easiest part. You can measure your crotch yourself, or you get someone to measure you. And another thing that we need to know is the full length of the pants we're going to make. The full length of the pants I'm going to make today is 39 inches plus 2. This 2 inches is for the folding of the hem, and that is totally of 41 inches. So that is the measurement that you need for drafting this pant. So let's draft our straight pants. Now, first of all, what I need to do is to measure. Just need to have your base measurement where you will start drafting your pants. So from here to the top, I measure like 2 inches. So here it's 2 inches, it's 2 inches. So 2 inches and 2 inches. So then I connect my point, that the dot that I make, I just connect it. Okay. So now I have my base for my pants. Let's just say with this line, I'm going to put my waist measurement. So now with this side, I also decide to have my base as well, and that is 2 inches. So I have the dot here, 2 inches. I have it here, 2 inches. I have here. So here is also 2 inches, and here 2 inches. All right. So now I will connect my dots that I made. All right. Okay. All right. So you can see it now. Well, I decided to use pencil to draft my pattern, because if I made a mistake, then I can easily erase the mistake. So please, you can, if you are a beginner, let's say you have no idea what you are doing, just use a pencil, and then when you made a mistake, then it's easy for you just to erase that. Okay. So now I have my base as well that I'm going to use. This is my side seam of the pants. So the next thing now we're going to do is I'm going to measure the length of my pants. The length that I'm working with today is 39 plus 2 inches for the folding, that is the hem, and then I have 41 inches. So let's just measure first the true length. The true length is 39. All right, so my true length here is 39. So you can see, so that is 39, and then I measure here 39. All right, so that is 39 here. Okay. All right, so I will just I'll connect the line, connect the dots. You have your 39. All right. Okay. All right. So this is my true length of the pants that I'm making. But since we're adding 2 inches, that is for the hemming allowance, I will just connect it down here to put extra 2 inches, and that is so 2 inches, so 2 inches, and so. But I use a centimeter anyway. You just convert this inches to your centimeter. Though you can see what I have inches, I have centimeters, so it's easy to convert. So I will just connect my line. There you go. Connect my line. So, all right. Connect the other line. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, this is my true measurement, the length, and this is the hem. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually use our hip measurement to draft this pant. But before then, what we need to do next is to use measure our crotch. Our crotch measurement is 10 inches. So I will start from this point, like so. I will mark my 10 inches here. I'll go here, mark my 10 inches here. Just mark it as 10 inches here. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw my line to connect this point. All right. Okay. So from here to here is the measurement, that is the cross measurement from your waistline to your, however you see to do it, and that we mark, that is your cross line. And this cross line, we're going to name it as your hip line. Okay, so that is your hip line. And so we'll do now, we just connect it. Okay, we're going to, okay, we just connect it, connect it, connect it, connect it. All right. Okay. All right. So now you have your square. So the next thing we're going to do now is to implement now your waist measurement. Oh, first of all, you measure this because now this is like your hip measurement. This is what we're going to call hip measurement. So the hip measurement that we're actually working with now is it is 30 inches. 30 inches. So you measure from here, your hip measurement. Your hip measurement is what we are using. We are using now a hip measurement. So you measure here, mark here your hip measurements. That's how it goes, right? All right. So this hip measurement, you bring it here again, 30. Okay, 30. That is it. So you can connect that line. All right. You can connect that line. So, all right. So what you will do next is to actually you do you extend this cross measurement. You extend this cross. Here was your hip. So we are not going to use this line anymore because we have our hip line. We put our hip line here. So therefore, from this point, we extend to have our cross measurement. So the extension we're going to put here is 2 inches. We are putting 2 inches extension. All right. Just from this point where you measure your hip measurement to here, you extend to extend yeah to 2 inches. Yes, 2 inches. Sorry. So you just extend it like this. All right. Okay. So you see now we have this 2 inches extension. So from this 2 inches extension, we're going to connect it here, just little connection that we will do here, okay? So I'll take my curve ruler, and I just have to connect, this point, connect this point to this point. All right. Okay. Okay. So you see, so just this point to this point. That's actually what we need. That is the cross measurement. All right. So what we're going to do next now is that this cross measurement here from here. Remember that cross line we made? So you look for the point, the midpoint. So the midpoint, the point is 13. So in order to get the midpoint of 13, let's see. You can just fold your tape measure like this. Instead of calculating, just fold your tape measure like this. Of course, see your midpoint. So let's open it. So you have it 6.5. So it is 6.5, your midpoint. So what you're going to do now, you just measure here 6.5. Let me see. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. 6.5. Okay, here. You measure 6.5 here. So this 6.5 you are measuring, you're going to measure it all the way down. We have 6.5 all the way down. 6.5 all the way down. Okay. So here, measure as well 6.5. Okay. Okay. 6.5. Here. Here, of course, 6.5. Okay. So this 6.5 that we just measure. So we're going to connect all the line. Of course, let me do here as well 6.5. 6.5. Okay, this is 6.5 here. Okay, all right. So I'll measure that as well. So we're going to draw, connect from here all the way to the end. All right. So I'll connect my point. This is 6.5. Okay. All right. You can see it's very straight. So make sure you measure it. 6.5. Okay. So that is that. So now you now see the line. So this serves as a gray line. So now the next measurement we should implement now is my ankle measurements. Ankle measurement that I'm working with, it is 12 inches divided by 2. And that 2 inches, then you divide that by 2, then it's 6 inches. So 6 inches is what I have for my ankle. So what you do, the midpoint, the half of 6, it is half of 12 and 6. Sorry, the half of 6 is 3. So that 3, you put it in the middle of the line that we just draw. Remember, that was the midpoint. So you just put it there. That is 3, right? So there you connect your line here. Then here you connect your line here. So you have 3 here. You have 3 here. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to connect our line. But before then, I need to shape my waist, because my waist, I don't really want to put an elastic. I want to put a zipper at the side, and I want my pant to have shape. But if suppose I was not going to put a zipper, I just want to put elastic, I will leave it like this. But by the time you finish making like this, and then you will it will be fine with elastic. But now I'm not going to use elastic, I'm going to use zipper. So in that case, I will then implement my true waist here. My true waist is 10 inches divided by 4, then I have 10, then I add 1 inch for the ease, and of course plus 1 inch for that. I would like to put my that as well. And then totally I have 12 inches. So I have 12 inches. So from this point, the point where you have your cross measurement, from this point I will I will have my 12 inches. That is here. So, all right, that is 12 inches. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to connect here to here so that I will have that shape of my waist. So in that case, I will use this my roller that will enable me to shape it. All right. So I can just put it like this, shape it around, or I put it like this, just shape it. So it doesn't really matter how you do it. Okay. So what you do now, you just connect it. You see? Oh, it's like it's not visible. Oh, let me see. Okay. Okay. Oh, now it's visible, right? Okay. So you just try to blend it into the this line to your, let's say, your hip line or wherever it may be. All right. So, and what we're going to do now is we're going to connect this line from here to here and from here to there. So let's do that first. All right. So from this cross measurement to measure, you just make sure that you measure it straight to your ankle. Yeah, this was it. 3 inches, 3 inches, and 3 inches. All right. So, okay. All right. So just do like this. Okay. So you can just blend it together. You can just blend so I can blend in very well. Blend in, you know. Okay. All right. So that's it. Eh? So, and then with here, you just with this roller like this, and just flip it like this. But you can use your free hand if you are really good at it. But in my case, I just decided to use ruler. Easy for me. So this is it. This is the 3 inches. So I'm just going to connect it to that point. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. So it has to be in that point. All right. Now you can see. Just roll it down. Okay. All right. See. So from this point, just draw it here. From here, draw it there. You see. So you can see how shapy it is. If you think that it's not curvy enough, you can always do it. But I'm thinking it's not curvy enough for me, the other side. So just want to do it. So it's not curvy enough for me. So let me just redo it. Okay, so you now see. So I love it the way it is now. So it will be a form of like a pencil. Um, yeah, it's a straight pan. So what you do is that when you already draw that line, all you do is just to clean this place up. You see, that is why you need pencil to draw your pattern. You can always, you know, all right. So you see, all right. So this is exactly what I want. So, all right. So when you see now, you measure it, you see that it has the same measurements. All right. So the next thing we're going to do now is to have um, extra um, allowance. to add extra sewing allowance. Okay, so first of all, what I'm just going to do also, I'm just going to kind of put a ruler here just to have a kind of curve, because I want to have a little bit curvy here as well. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, just want to have this little curve. I want to have that. Okay, you can do whatever you want. You can leave it like this. You can do what you want. But in this case, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add, first of all, let me make the darts. That was, we need a dart of 1 inch. What we're going to do now is that 1 inch, we're going to divide it just from this line, the midline. So we're going to divide it. First of all, we'll do the other side. We'll do like half an inch. And we'll do the other one, half an inch. Okay? Yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. Okay, half an inch. That's it. Okay, so we did half an inch. We measure from this straight line, the green line we make, we measure 4 inches down. That is 4 inches. Okay, mark that 4 inches. What we're going to happen now, we're going to connect this line to this line, connect this line to this line. So then we have our darts. Okay. All right. So we connect that one as well. Okay. So you can see you have the point here. You have that half an inch each side. So that is the dart. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my sewing allowance, because for the fact that I'm not putting a waistband on it, but I still want to have I want to have facing, I want to sew it, the facing, I want to sew the facing with my with my pants. It has no waistband, but I will use the facing to turn it in. So in that case, I want to add like half an inch. Half an inch will be fine. Half an inch will be fine, because for my sewing allowance. All right. So I just measure from this curve. I really want my pant to have curve. So I measure from here to put my sewing that my sewing allowance. So when I'm cutting my band as well, as I will show to you later, then we'll have that curve as well to cut it. All right. So I'm going to now curve the band, the allowance that I put there. All right. So you can see it has. Okay. You see? So let me just extend this one a bit forward so you can see. Oh, all right. Hmm. Okay. Now, so let me just connect it. Okay. So that is that. And here as well, but this is the hip, because I shaping my hip. Okay. All right. So that is for that. So now I'm going to add 1 inch, or whatever you want. You can add like 2 inches and things like that. So it depends on actually what you want. If you want to have your extra allowances on it. One thing is that when you are drafting pattern, you can draft it as you want, but when you are making it, you are fitting it, if it's too big, you can always trim it. But in this case, I'm just going to add like 1.5 inches. I'm going to add 1.5 inches because I'm going to use overlock to overlock the fabric. So by the time I overlock the fabric, and then I also have, then I can have 1 inch. But in this case, let me just use half first, okay? All right. So that is that 1.5 inch. So this is my 1.5 inch here. All right. So then what you are doing now is that this curve line that you make, there you're going to start to put your allowance, okay? Because you're going to shape your pants again. So I just put 1.5. You can put 2 if you want. You can put in 1.5. Okay. So I'm going to connect it now. Before I'll connect the hip. So connect the hip. Okay. Let me start from here first to make it easier. So that is the line. So you can see. Okay, let me see. Maybe here is better for you. So you can see that is the connection. All right. So now we connect this line as well to this. Oh, sorry. Connect it. Okay. So, all right. So we just connect this spot now. This spot, as you can see, yes. Okay. Okay. So now you see connected the pants. So I will extend this line here. Okay. Okay. So we just connect here very well so I can see it properly. So you can try connect to this port. See? Now you have your curve. So you can see. Okay. I hope it's visible now. So that is it. You have it now, you have it, you have it. So the one thing you have to do is that you have to blend here very well because we don't want to have a point, no point, no point. We just can just do it nicely. Yeah. However you want it, you just have to curve it so that I can blend very well. You see. Okay. So since we add our allowance here now, so we have formed the pan. This our pan drafting is almost ready. So we're going to add our allowance here. We're going to add our allowance there. Okay. So let me add the same 1.5. The same 1.5. I will add here as well. 1.5. All right. So you have to do it very precisely, otherwise you have a problem if it's not ready. So here it's as well 1.5. Okay. So that is sewing allowance. So we're going to connect everything. All right. So let me connect this side so that I can put it together. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to connect the dotted line. Okay. All right. So hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So connect that. I'm going to connect this. All right. All right. So you can see I've added my extra allowance. The crush is done and everything is done. So now we're going to try to fix our ankle. So what you do is that I cut from here, just cut it straight, cut it straight. But the problem is when you do that, when you are cutting your fabric, you cut it straight and then you are stitching it together, then you have a problem because when you are folding, you will not have enough um, fabric to turn your pants. So what I'm going to do now is just watch what I'm doing carefully because it's transparent paper. I'm using transparent paper so you can easily see what I'm doing. So you fold your line, your hemline. You fold your hemline straight. But if you don't have transparent paper, you can always use a tracing wheel to make sure that you fold it. When you fold your like this, 2 inches. See? All right. So, but we already have a line here of our hemline. So you can see. So when you open it up like this, you have your line. You see? So then it's not straight. It's still a little bit curved here, a little bit. Then have this length. So when you cut your fabric, you are stitching together, folding it. It'll be more easy for you because you have enough fabric in your hemline. Okay. So actually, this is we have finished drafting the front pattern. It is so simple. As you could see, we just use only hip measurement to draft our pattern. So the next thing we're going to do now is to cut out the pattern that we just drafted, and then we're going to use that pattern to to draft the front pattern. Okay, so let's just cut it out. Okay, so we cut now from the ankle that you just made. Okay, so now let me remove my magnet. Easy to move around. All right, so we just all right. You can actually use any paper to draft a pattern. You can use even newspaper. You can use printing paper. You just use tape to tape it together. You have your white paper like this, or you use the wrapping paper for your gift. You know, those wrapping paper, you can just use it as well. Use the side that have no design. Just draft your pattern, you know. So you don't have to buy any expensive paper, things like that, to draft your pattern. Okay. Just cut it out and I'll show you guys how it goes. I'll start from here. Remember the waist measurement I would draw. Okay, just be careful here when you are cutting that you don't cut it too deep. You just make sure that you cut exactly the curve. Alright. Alright. So let me cut this side now. Okay, so just cut it very curvy around here. That's nice. Alright. Now, when you cut your pattern like this, you don't have those unnecessary bulging in the front and back. So it's really very nice like this to cut your pattern. Okay. Let me just show you. Let me just show you what I've done so far. So this is it, folks. We have finished drafting our pattern. So as I said, with your cross measurement there, you use your hip measurement to draft your pattern, and you can see the curve very well. Somewhere here is your knee measurement, and then it is done. So folks, let us now use this pattern to create our back pants. So with this pattern, we're just going to mark front pattern. Front, this is our front pants. Okay. All right. So we're going to draft now the back part. So let's start. Okay. So now I decided to use brown pattern paper so that you can see clearly what I'm going to do. Now we have drafted the front pattern. I decided to use the front pattern as a template so that you will trace it out, and then you don't have to start drafting or doing all the process that you do. The front pattern, you just use to do it. So you're going to trace the pattern, as I'm going to do right now. I use my marker pen so that you can see what I'm doing. So this, I use red so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. I hope you do see what I'm doing. So just going to trace everything, trace all over. As you can see, you're having the pattern. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so you, this is for Just mark the center, the hemline, just trace it round. Okay. Okay. All right. So now that we finished tracing our pattern, where is the dot? Is the middle. So we're going to work on the back pattern now. So the first thing that we do, we extend this line. You extend that line. It'll be up. Extend it up with 1 inch. You can see just 1 inch. Okay. This 1 inch. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And then with this 1 inch here, so we're going to connect it here to form a slant. Okay. Let me get my ruler. Let me just extend this forward as well. So we can able to form our slant. Okay. So we're going to form the slant to connect it here. Okay. All right. So you form your slant. Hope you can see what I'm doing now. Okay. So and here you will extend. You will extend here with 2 inches. So up is 1 inch. You extend it out 2 inch. So now what we're going to do now is, remember the original line that we did for the front pants? We're going to measure from there 3 inches forward. This line that we just draw out, that is our seam allowance for the front. But the original pattern, original line that we make, that is here. So from there, we're going to extend it forward to form our back cross line. Okay. So now what's going to happen now is that we're going to connect here to here, and of course to our waist. Okay. So just extend the line now. That is it, at 3 inches from here. That's what we do. So we're just going to use the other ruler. So we're going to extend it now from this point across line. Extend our cross line. Okay. From this point, just draw it here. So you can see. I hope you see what I'm doing. All right. So from there, we just extend it straight. So we're going to extend this line as well. So let's just do it like this. Okay, so now connected now to your waist. So now you have your front crush. Okay. So now what we're going to do next now is to connect this line to our ankle line. So we're going to connect it with this ruler. You can see. Okay. All right. So that is that. Just like this. Okay. So you can also align it to the pattern. So you just form your line like this. Then just draw it down. All right. Okay. I hope it's visible. You can see. All right. Oh. Okay. Align to the. You can see already connected with the line. So I'm going to connect the ankle line so that it can be the same. All right. Okay. So that is it. So this is the original hemline. I can as well just extend it here so that you know. Okay. So that is that. Okay. So we can remove the pattern. So you can see. So what's going to happen now is that to form our darts, I would like to put that at the back as well. So I just measure. Remember, this was a straight line. Measure that straight line down to 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches. Okay, so that is that. 4 inches. Because the dart at the back, at the front, it is 4 inches. So we make it the same. I'll just make it the same. But you can decide not to put that on yours if you want. So in this case, I like to have that. Okay. So now I will just extend the line. So first of all, let me shape the waist, because the original waist I did is a little bit curvy. I want my waist to be curvy, so I just want to curve this front, the back. Push a little bit that way. Okay. So now I do from this point to this point. I just put my ruler, my curvy ruler, then I shape it. Okay. Just shape it like this. Just curve it like that. Okay. But I can start from here as well. Now we have the back line. This one. Okay. So now this will be our line that we're going to cut out for our pattern. This one. So let me use red pen to mark it so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so from now, this is the original line now we're going to do. So from this point, then you curve your palms, see? So that is the original. But however, we still have our half an inch to turn in my facing in, because with this original pattern that we did the front, we add that sewing allowance. So making it, using it as a template it has automatically or extended to the back. But however, I just want it to be shapy because I'm not putting elastic. I'm going to put zipper at the side. I'm going to put zipper here. So now that is it actually. But if you just want, you can rule your straight line. You can rule the straight line to here. You just see this now. Just mark it like this. Okay, so let me just recapture what we did. What we did actually was to use the front pattern as a template to draw out our back pattern. So what we did was that after tracing it, and that is this red mark, I trace it, and then at the top here, I extended it with one inch, and then here I extended it with 2 inches. So I connect my crush line. Just connect my crush line from here. This is the back, and this is the front that I use as a template. Now from here, from here to here, this original line here is when I extended it was 3 inches for my crush. So I trace it out, and then from here I connected it to my ankle. So I extended everything. So this is what I did. I put my dart. If you like, you can put your dart. If you don't want, don't use that. So and here at the here at the here at the side, there is no need to here at the side, there is no need to put allowance because I've already had extra allowance here. So that is actually what we did. So here no need of allowance. I shape my waist, and that is how it is. So now this is the end of drafting of your straight pants. Okay, so now before we cut our pattern, I actually want to cut my waistband. Remember that here we create our darts. So what I will do is I just wanted to fold it like this in the middle of my pattern. You can see what I'm doing. Then I will fold it like this. I will fold it like this, and then that will be my band, because I want to create a band. Because if I don't fold these my darts, my band will be too big. So I'll just trace it like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. I'm using my red marker so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'll just turn it like, I'll just like make it like this because I want my band to go inside. Alright, so this we do. You see? So now you form your waistband. So all I'll just do now is just to connect it. Just connect it like that. Alright. Okay. So now you have your back facing. This is back facing. Okay. So now I will cut the front facing. But don't forget, when you are cutting this, you can just like because when you are sewing your pants later, you are actually going to have a kind of double. You have two. So the facing, I'm going to put here. Let me just, I'll cut it on fold, because I'm going to have my zipper at the side. Then it is better for me just to cut it like that. So otherwise I'm going to cut it like two. So I'll cut my band like that on fold. Here will be on fold. Okay, so let me cut the front facing. Okay, let me cut the front facing. Okay, this is my front fastener. I'm just cutting my front facing. So I will do the same thing that I did with the back. Actually, I'll just fold it from this, your green line, just fold it like this. Right. So when you have transparent paper, it's easy anyway, because it's easy to fold. But so then I will put it like this, you see? So now the waistline has reduced. Okay. Alright. So then I will trace it out again. Move a little bit this way. So that is that. So you sit here. Actually, I want to know how many. Well, you can just eyeball it. How many inches that you will have, that you like to have. But this is about 3 inches. Oh, it's about 3 inches. That's less. Let me just put it on. So this just put it like 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. So I'll connect. So here, let me just see, 3 inches as well. So you can actually decide how big you want, how long you want your facing to be. So then I will connect my facing. I'll connect it. So, alright, see? So you can see your waistband. You can write it waistband. Okay, and then you're just going to cut the waistband in 2 or in 1. You're going to cut it in 1 because there is no zip at the front. So here will be like unfold. Okay, so you can see waistband is already. Okay, let me just recommend this. Once I was put that on the other side, because I just want to have like 3 inches in. Okay, so now you have it, 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. So here will be on fold. So I'm going to cut out my facing now for my pants, and then we will move on to the cutting parts. Okay. Here is my scissors. Let me just cut out my facing. Okay. So if you are making a elastic waistband, you just make it straight, and then what you just have to do to put your elastic. But now, in case making something else. Okay, now we have our back, and this is our front. So if you think it is necessary for you to add extra sewing allowance, you can do it. But in my case, it's not necessary for me. Okay. So as you can see, this is done. This is it. Alright, so I'm going to my cutting board right now, and I will sew I'll cut. So we're going to cut our fabric. I'll show you cut your fabric, how you can place your pattern on your fabric so that you can have a good look when you are making your pattern. And then after we cut, after cutting our fabric, then we're going to sew it. So watch out on the next tutorial. So I hope you do enjoy this tutorial. It's helpful to you. If it's helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, and turn in your notification button so that anytime I uploaded a video, you will be the first one to get it. So thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye.